the most painful part of alcohol withdrawal. I can only speak about this from a very personal level, from the things that I went through myself when I stopped drinking alcohol, how long I went through that, and as a teacher, as a coach, the things that I see in other people. Now, the physical withdrawal, the actual withdrawal that you're going to go through because you're stopping a substance, you're getting a poison out of your system, and all the consequences of that, the accumulated build-up of alcohol in your system, the accumulated damage, that withdrawal has a very finite time frame to it. It doesn't last that long, right? There's a lot of people that will try and convince you that it lasts a lot longer than it does, but the physical component doesn't. It's the psychological part of the withdrawal that can last a lot longer. And like anything else, like the discomfort, a lot of this is in your control. You can dial it up or you can turn it back down again. For me, a lot of this comes in the form of separation anxiety, especially in the early days. You're separating yourself from the alcohol, from the behavior, from the habits, from the rituals, from all the sequences that are involved. When I'm talking about sequences, I'm talking about rituals to a certain extent, but not necessarily rituals in the sense that you do this, then you do that, then you do that. It's like parts of the habit. And separation anxiety plays a large part in this because you are taking something out of your life and it creates a void to a certain degree. It's also painful when you have to remove alcohol, but you also have to remove everything that's associated with alcohol. And at the beginning, you don't know what that is. You know, it's very difficult to understand what that is in the beginning. I mean, yeah, you take the alcohol out, you take some of the other things that you can definitely think about in the beginning, but there's more to be done down the road. And that can leave a void. It can leave this big void that is sometimes difficult to fill. And the temptation is to fill it with something familiar, something that you know, or something that you think you know. A lot of people, what they do is they stop drinking alcohol and they say to themselves, I'm going to fill it with, instead of taking alcohol, I'm going to take something else. I'm going to take marijuana. Sure, marijuana's no problem at all, you know. A lot of people in the beginning fill it with chocolate, right? You know, sweets or something like that, you know. Not too much of a problem there, but I definitely wouldn't fill it with anything that is similar, anything that is going to take you, that's in a form of a drug. Because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do, you're trying to change things. You're trying to change yourself. You're trying to change the mentality that has kept this alcohol habit going all these years, right? That has built this alcohol habit out of what it is. So don't do that. You know, think about what you're doing. Ride these experiences out, ride the experiences of discomfort out. If you've already gone through this, if you've already gone through the first weeks or a couple of weeks or so, please leave your comments down below. You'll be surprised at how helpful they can be for other people who are just starting out on this journey. All right. So there is a certain amount of withdrawal from your alcohol life, withdrawal from your old habit. And it's not just one habit that you're going through. There's several habits depending on the situation, the context, the circumstances. You know, there's habits for when you're on your own, there's sequences and rituals that you do when you're on your own that you wouldn't do with other people. There's the same thing when you're with company. Depends who the company is. There's different things that you do when you're with strangers versus with family versus when you're with dear friends who understand you, or fellow drinkers. You know, if you're with drinkers, you will act completely differently to when you're not with drinkers. All of this, you know, this withdrawal, it creates a schism. You know, it's like that void, but it's a psychological void. And it's a schism that creates a certain amount of conflict and ambiguity. There's a certain amount of feelings that you don't want to do this. You want to go back to your old habits because that's where the comfort lies. And there's also a feeling of a kind of desertion from yourself, from who you are, right? You have to say goodbye to certain parts of yourself, and that's tough. That's difficult because if you say goodbye to these parts, who are you? So I like to look at this like it's a retirement from alcohol. I used to do alcohol, I used to do all those behaviors, and now I don't do those anymore. So it's freeing. Alcohol is just not holding you back anymore. But you've got to open yourself up to things. You've got to open yourself up, like I said, to the work. You've got to open yourself up to the discomfort. It's only by opening yourself up to the discomfort and starting to enjoy the discomfort in a little bit of, not in a weird way, but enjoying the discomfort. It's like when you're going out running. You start running and you start to enjoy the discomfort, or going to the gym, or anything that takes physical work. You get used to it and you start to enjoy it, means something to you. And it's only then that you can start to build a comfort in your life that is a positive comfort, you know, a comfort that's bringing you somewhere, not a destructive comfort, discomfort like it was before. So if you like this video, watch this video next. I'll give you some ideas on what to do.